So they're doing it with Freddie Mercury, Bob Dylan, Elvis, Elton John, Amy Winehouse, Whitney Houston. It's just slop du jour for Hollywood now, biopics. And they are doing one. Not one, actually. I'm sorry. Four for the Beatles.
Yep.
I didn't even know this was going to be a binge-worthy cinematic experience. But in fact, they're making 4 separate movies for each member of the Beatles. As if anyone fucking cares. I know I don't. And the vast majority of people alive today won't care. But they have cast the members of the band so far, and we can see their comparisons now. People are already starting a huge controversy about the casting decision.
To be fair, boomers are the only ones who can afford to go to the movies anymore, and they might care about this.
They're just going to spend their kids' retirement.
But I want to first criticize
inheritance on it.
I want to criticize Pop Crave and Pop Bass for putting them side by side rather than putting all of the actors at the bottom and all of the Beatles at the top. I hate you, and you're bad at your job.
It's not totally visible on there. Yeah, there you have it. So Harris Dickinson as John Lennon. I don't think I was familiar with this person before, but he is probably the most conventionally handsome of them.
He looks like the dude from Supernatural a bit. What's his name?
I don't think I've seen him in anything. Paul Mescal as Paul McCartney.
Yep.
I don't really see it. But actually, no, I take that back. I think Paul Mescal is the most attractive of the actors they chose. But then Barry Keoghan as Ringo Starr and Joseph Quinn.
I love how they just hate Barry Keoghan, so they get the worst picture of him they can possibly find of him.
No, they got I mean, how do you get someone next to Ringo Starr and make them look less attractive?
Because he looks like he's like sticking out his stomach and doing this, like the guy at the basketball game, the famous meme.
Yeah. And then Joseph Quinn, who is known for Stranger Things as George Harrison. And, I don't know if anyone really cares. Like, knowing that the majority of, like, millennials and Gen Z don't care.
Here's another set of photos that try to...
Like, how is this going to do well? Who is going to see this?
It'll do well. The Beatles were popular. I mean,
4 individual biopics about each one?
I don't know if that'll end up.
That is insane.
I bet you they end up pairing it back and not even doing it.
Is absolutely insane. But allegedly, the plan
what I'm saying is
all 4 Beatles biopics are going to release in April 2028 in theaters, called the first bingeable theatrical experience. 4 separate movies.
They better be like 90. They better be like 1-hour movies.
I'm not going to a quadruple feature of the Beatles. Like, get effed.
And no like bathroom breaks.
That is insane.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane. So here was one of the gripes with the casting decision. One said, we should be casting unknowns in movies more.
There's a lot of people that they do believe that especially for biopics.
Real life people, aka normies, have no idea who these 4 actors are. That is true. Except maybe Barry Keoghan, but not even, really.
Okay.
Like, go up to any normal person out in society. I don't think they would.
You don't think Paul Mescal is getting to that level now?
In Gladiator 2? I don't think so. I mean, he might be recognizable as like, oh, I think I've seen that guy in something. Who is that?
Yeah.
But no one knows.
Oddly enough, it's better to be a TV guy where somebody says, I've seen that guy in a bunch of stuff, but I have no idea who it is. It seems like it's better to be that guy in television than in movies.
This is also going to be spanning decades. So how are they going to like de-age them, age them up, and then age them like all the way up?
Yep.
Because I think most of them are in their late 20s or early 30s, right?
You mean age them all the way up as in like when they're old?
Yeah.
They'll be different actors.
Will they have different actors for the younger versions too?
Depends on how young.
Okay. Yeah.
I would imagine, look, if the actors are in their 30s and they're talking about the actors when they're in their 20s at the start of their career, they'll just use makeup and de-age. For the older parts, they'll use older actors.
And a lot of it is those horrible haircuts and outfits. I just hate everything about it.
Look, I don't
it's
know
aesthetically
what
abhorrent
you're
to me.
talking about because Justin Bieber made that haircut work for like 2.5 years.
Not the same. Not the same haircut at all. Not at all. That is offensive.
He's doing this right now.
So, the casting choice that offended the internet the absolute most out of the four was Barry Keoghan as Ringo Starr.
Not my Ringo. Hashtag not my Ringo.
So, I don't know if this was trending, but they say hashtag not my Ringo with this photo of Barry Keoghan looking absolutely... I mean, he just looks terrible. I don't know. That's like one of the worst photos I've ever seen of him.
You know, I don't suggest this lightly, but I'm saying buckle fat removal.
Really?
Buckle fat removal and a beard.
He's already in his late 30s, is he not?
He has what's called a weathered face. Okay, it's fine.
Well,
he'll be fine.
There's that, but then there's the rest of the issues going on there.
Bro dumped Sabrina Carpenter.
Is that why he looks bad right now? He's going through a breakup?
No, I'm saying that either way he wins because he dumped her.
Right.
Everybody's clowning on him, being like, "Oh, you're ugly." He's like, "I dumped like the closest thing that modern day Hollywood has to a sex symbol." So
here's one of the responses. WTF happened to his face? I swear he did not look like that. Another one said, did he get botched work done? He looks F.
He's just Ezra Miller if he lived a hard life and did a bunch of drugs.
Someone said that no wonder most of Sabrina's Juno positions are from behind because who would want to look at that? Give an ugly man a chance and he will embarrass you.
See, I showed this one years ago. He's just ugly Ezra Miller.
I see it a little bit.
It's the eyes.
Not entirely.
They have the eyes.
But yeah.
See, and see what I said? I said buckle fat removal. If he gets the buckle fat removal, he'll look even more like Ezra Miller. Then all you have to do is make sure he's not around any women with chairs.
Who is this leprechaun? I'm seeing some Irish phobia. Is that what it's called?
Irophobia?
I don't know. The kind of nose that enters a door first and
you know why people are mad? You know what people are coping? Because they hate that men can look like this and become famous, and women become famous like this and their looks have to become part of the discussion. Barry Keoghan can be famous on his own, even looking weird and weathered, and his appearance will never come up except for internet discourse. Any woman that becomes famous that has the female equivalent to this, it becomes about her look.
Honestly, I've seen a lot of people saying Chapel Roan is ugly. And
I mean, I think they're just kind of like, maybe they've just never seen her without the makeup on or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I think this is actually perfect because Ringo Starr was ugly. And Barry Keoghan, therefore, is a perfect match for the role.
It'll be perfectly fine. It's going to be great. They're going to do great work. I'm going to not watch it one bit.
The cyberbullying, the actual cyberbullying against Barry Keoghan for his appearance is so extreme from the very same people who will self-righteously call that out when it's a woman in question, when it's a minority in question. You're supposed to performatively say that Cynthia Erivo is stunning, and you're supposed to say Dylan Mulvaney is gorgeous, and yet because Barry Keoghan is a straight white male,
look at the absolute disrespect from TMZ using like the best picture they can find of Sabrina Carpenter and the worst picture they can find of Barry Keoghan.
I don't think they had to try that hard.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, like she just kind of always looks good and he just kind of always looks bad. And they would always take photos together on the red carpet where they were covering his face with their hands.
I bet you there's at least one picture of Barry Keoghan looking normal.
Sabrina Carpenter reposted this on TikTok. A fan of hers said, when I had to convince myself he was attractive, but he ended up breaking up with me.
Again, that's just a self-own on your own part. I don't know why you'd share that.
She reposted that, which is allegedly throwing shade at Barry Keoghan. Another one she reposted says, it's a reference to her song Busy Woman, but it says busy woman until men learn how to act. Yeah. So I guess, as you were saying, he still wins in the end.
He needs to start sending this picture to anyone who disses him of just the ugliest photo that there is of him.
Oh.
Where, like, literally when I said earlier, he needs to send that to any Sabrina Carpenter fan and say, still hit, though.
He still hit. He did. He still hit, though. That's the thing. Like, 3 of the most powerful words in the English language.
He's like, so what you're saying is, like, you debased yourself for me? Damn, I must be good.
Right? Like, don't admit that publicly. That's
like
not
this,
a good look.
This is one of those things that women have a weird fetish for, which is to humiliate themselves to make themselves feel better.
Sabrina Carpenter, this fan says, Sabrina Carpenter should receive compensation for dating that. Like, okay, clearly there was something in it for her.
Must have been. I don't know what it would have been.
Is it just his Irish riz?
Must be.
I don't know.
But
yeah, I think that he, you know what, him as Ringo Starr makes perfect sense.
There you go. It'll be perfectly
They're both hideous.
Fine. I do tend to agree with the unknown casting idea. I think it works better for these types of movies.
Yeah, but they are unknown.
But look, people, much to my chagrin, people liked Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan. I don't know why you would like anything that involves Bob Dylan ever, but apparently they did.
Okay.
I think that's a crime against humanity, but that's just me. I think Bob Dylan is an affront to ears.
I agree, and I also think that about the Beatles.
There you have it.
But this is just, like, are they trying to cast these ones specifically because they want Gen Z to see it?
No, I don't think
These
so.
actors are known more
I
to
don't
Gen
think
Z
so.
than others?
No, I think that, I don't think that's the reasoning.
How are they going to get young people to care about this then? They're just not.
I don't think that
They
the young people aren't the audience for
They
this.
just won't
They're
care.
young people. First of all, what young person is going to sit through 4 movies?
Well, they liked the Priscilla Presley one.
That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's inherently different. And even then, like, I bet you the ages are still fairly split on who went to see that. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.